Hello. We are jumping right in because we're ready.
We got some hot stuff to talk about today.
Okay, so I discovered this on complete accident. In the last episode we started talking about
Random conspiracies. Just like general things people think about.
Yeah.
That may or may not have any basis at all that are just fun.
Now, the last episode I was supposed to research the underground tunnels, and as I said, you heard me say, there's not much. I can only do so much. There's nothing. It was going to be a waste of my time to continue to read the same freaking article.
There was
written
very
by different
limited,
people.
very limited information.
It was dumb. So, anyways, I searched LA tunnels. LA underground tunnels. And TikTok comes up. It is an interview on Big Bam, is what the TikTok name is. So, Big and then B, 3 A's M. This is how I discovered this. It is an interview of a girl called, oh my god, I'm sorry. Her name is Allie Carter, okay? She was also interviewed on some news station, and I could not figure out. It might have been someone's talk show. It was set up like a news station, though. Like, it wasn't like Ellen, how they're sitting on couches and stuff. So she was interviewed. It was 2021. I watched it on YouTube last night. It was over an hour long. And it is her talking about her experiences. I watched it via the YouTuber is called Music Recording Network. I just want to give all of these people credit because they did a really great job putting all of this together. Which is very odd because this was posted 4 months ago. It is, I think it's 3 people watching this news clip. And it's close to an hour long. And they're like, wait a minute. This was in 2021. Why are we just now hearing about this 4 years later?
Right.
Okay. So Allie Carter talks a little bit about her life, so we can have a background on how she grew up. She remembers being sexually abused from the age of 4. When she goes back and looks at the records from CPS, their first report is at 3 months. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So young. She was sexually abused her entire life. And this was not like a little bit here, little bit there. This is an everyday thing. It's by her family and it's by authorities, such as police officers, principals, CPS workers.
Abusing her.
Yes. Sexually. So there was a court case that happened. She went into foster care. I'm assuming that her mom got custody of her. The way that she talked about things was very hard because she would skip from age 4 to 16, then back to 12, then 11, then 13. So I am hoping that I got all of this right.
Okay.
So the court case happened. She was taken away from her mom, went into foster care. Somehow her mom got her back.
Okay.
She started working in a strip club at 12 years old.
Is she in LA? Because I know this is LA tunnel stuff.
I can't say 100% LA, but she's in the area. Like, I don't know if it's a different area.
Like in California.
Near LA. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how old is she now? Just so we have like a reference of when she would have been 12.
How old is she now?
If she's 40, she would have. It would have been.
I thought you meant in the.
If she was 40 now, this would have been the early 90s that she was in a strip club at 12. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I guess I could look it up too.
It's hard to figure out because she has the same name as a famous writer.
I see.
So anytime I look up Allie Carter. 31.
Is this the same lady as... Is she involved with Tupac? Is this supposed to be Allie Carter's Tupac daughter?
Yeah, that was in there as well.
It appears the connection stems from a false claim that Allie Carter is Tupac's daughter. Not true. No reliable sources support this claim.
Unknown. That's unknown. God. You're not doing well right now. What
I'm
happened
not.
to you?
I don't know. I pooped out the worms and something happened. All of my intelligence went with it.
Yeah. So,
Anyway.
so she starts working at a strip club at 12, and she said, like, I didn't necessarily know what I was doing. I was a hypersexual human from how I was raised.
Yeah. I mean, being sexually abused tends to lend itself to
right. And
hypersexuality.
I mean, at 12, how much do you understand the concept of, like, making money via sex acts? You know, like, are you really comprehending?
There's got to be a certain level of like dissociation.
Yes.
As like a protection mechanism.
In which she did say she disassociated a lot.
Yeah.
In her life.
Yeah.
So, again, she is put into foster care. Okay, I think that she was put into foster care, given back to her mother, and then put in again.
Mm-hmm.
Not 100%. Like I said, the shit that I watched, it skipped around so much.
Timeline unclear.
And every single video that I looked at was like that. So,
and this is just generally useful background information.
Yes.
So people have a frame of reference of who she could become. Or
well,
who she is.
yeah, I mean that, but I'm also telling her life story.
Okay, I understand.
So the whole thing when she was young and whatnot, I just wanted everyone to know that she was sexually abused from a young age.
Yeah.
And she didn't even know it. Like, as an adult now, she is digging into her own court cases and seeing what all happened because she does. Like, do you remember when you were even 4?
Yeah, and the brain, I mean,
it erases a lot for you.
Yeah, it blocks out, like, people have heard of repressed memories. Like, it does that for you to protect you because sometimes you can't process significant trauma.
Right.
So.
Now, let me say, guys, this is not a huge. I just want to tell this girl's story.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was so impacting for me that, and I've never heard of it before, and I am a social media person. It feels as though anytime she talks, it gets like erased.
That's interesting. I'm eager to hear why, or.
Well, we all know why.
I'm eager to hear who the players involved are to determine why it would want to be pushed down.
So, I believe she's 15 now. She's put into foster care. She is trafficked. She starts to get trafficked by a pimp. He claims that he is 27 years old. The foster parents let him come in, take her, and return her later.
Interesting. Okay.
She finds in his wallet multiple passports and IDs saying he's way older than 27.
Okay.
She tells CPS this guy, like, because CPS comes, it seems as though she almost has to have, like, a visitation list as to who she's hanging out with. It doesn't seem she's very free to go a lot.
This is so weird.
It's all very odd. So she tells CPS, like, my foster parents are sending me with this man that claims he's 27. He's not. I've seen the IDs. I have seen the passports. So CPS puts him on the list or whatever as a 27-year-old boyfriend.
Sounds like that's not what she said at all.
She told them,
right,
he's not my boyfriend. He's not 27. And they're like, me, he is. You're good. Turns out he was paying the foster parents to take her and prostitute, I guess, her at Hollywood elite parties.
Okay. I want to pause for a moment. Very brief. I have a very brief tangent I want to go on in relation to this.
Okay.
I really like Law & Order SVU. SVU does have some basis to its cases with sexual assault and child abuse, right? And there's been plenty of cases in real life that I've heard about. This also parallels cases, kids in cages, right? Just like CPS not doing their job, right? I worked for CPS.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm sure I'm in the minority. I genuinely cared about the children in those situations.
Which it's even more frustrating because I know a lot of workers that are in that industry and they care so much.
It's so confusing to me to think I'm going to work in a field that doesn't pay well,
Oh no.
pays so poorly.
Yes.
You do have to have, to some degree, in Pennsylvania at the very least, you have to have a certain number of credits. Not that provides you any kind of qualification to
But it's
actually be
not
making
just
any
like,
determination. But
no.
you did have to have a college degree
Right.
to work as a CPS worker. You have to do training, and that can't make you a good person. That's fair. But like, nobody is working in this field to make fucking pennies. You
Right.
don't make any money.
Right.
I
And you're
couldn't,
also put in dangerous situations all the time.
without police involved. There were plenty of times where we were like, "Hey, can the police come?" And they're like, "Nah,
No. Yeah.
nah, we won't come." People in this tiny county that I worked in had their life threatened multiple times by parents. Like,
Yeah.
you just don't get in. How are you a worker?
I think it's different in LA.
And like, the other cases obviously that you hear about are in big cities.
Right.
But like, I cannot fathom working in a field that you're overworked with so many cases and you're just like, I think I just don't fucking care about kids. I cannot imagine not advocating for children when you're in a position to advocate for children.
Because
I can't get it.
they're being paid.
You could not pay.
Almost every person in this story is getting paid.
You could not pay me to turn a blind eye.
No, because you're a good person.
I
It's
just
so
don't
different.
get it. I don't get the pipeline from getting into child welfare to getting paid to allow prostitution to happen of children. Where's the pipeline going? You could not pay me.
I'm right there with you.
I'm baffled.
Yeah.
I'm baffled.
Yeah.
Continue.
This is
I don't get it.
I didn't want you to read anything because I wanted you to be shocked at all these things, and I knew you would be.
I can't. Okay.
She kept kind of pushing the envelope with CPS, like, hey, still, I can't. This is not my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Again, he's not 27. Social workers essentially said, you better stay quiet or he'll make you disappear to Arizona and no one will ever see you again. And who's coming to look for you?
And based on, I don't know, we don't know her age, but I mean, based on the players involved, it sounds like she's at least 30 to 40 years old now.
Yes,
so
yeah.
This had to have been
15 years ago.
At least like
it was around 15 years ago.
2005 or before, probably.
Yeah. And in the same breath, she claims that CPS is buying and selling kids consistently, and she's watching it happen.
But like, as much as I am baffled by the concept of being a person in that position, I also totally believe that that's possible.
Yeah.
I don't get how you can work for CPS and be such a horrible person, but I also totally believe that CPS could be trafficking.
They have all the
kids.
right resources. Who's looking for those
Yes,
kids?
Exactly. Yeah.
No one's going to look for them.
Ugh.
They don't have a family. They don't have friends.
Yeah.
They are in charge of making sure they're safe. They're the only ones who know about them. And if they disappear.
And in the time of paper records, oops. And then that person no longer exists.
Right.
Horrible.
Right. So she essentially just like stays quiet. She doesn't want to disappear. You know?
Yeah.
So she's in high school now. She's dropped off at school. I don't know if her foster parents drop her off or if she rides the bus.
Okay.
Her pimp picks her up, takes her on, what does she call them? Missions. Did she call them missions? Hold on. An order.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she goes on an order during the school day. Pimp drops her off, and she goes home. He drops her back off to take the bus home.
Okay.
Pimp or somebody is paying school teacher to sign her into school.
This is wild.
So she's not missing any school. She's accounted for.
Yeah.
She said, even if I was 10 minutes late to class, my parents would get a phone call saying, "Hello, this is so-and-so. We're just checking to make sure that whoever is safe at home with you." They didn't get those calls. Because her teachers were signing her in to school. So when she finally gets in school, she finally reports it to the guidance counselor, the principal, and the police officer that work there. They all tell her to stay silent. Don't worry about it. They're also in. They're all getting paid to allow this to happen. And she's not the only one. She is not the only one.
Yeah, I'm sure not. I'm sure that this is an operation.
Yes.
Okay. How much money you gotta be making?
How much money are people paying for that?
Like like first of all, how much revenue is she generating or the whole operation generating that they're paying off these people enough money?
She said that there are so many levels that like the pimp is essentially nothing.
Oh, I'm sure not.
You keep
That's
going
your local
up.
low-level weed dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's just like how
For example, I dove into I dove into the P. Diddy trial yesterday for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked, which shout out to the people who are getting these transcripts and putting them on the internet for me.
For you specifically.
It's just for me. It says, "Dear Maggie, you're welcome."
Ew.
But anyways, they asked Cassie, how much are these escorts getting paid?
Yeah.
During these freak-offs?
Yeah.
It's sometimes $7,000. So you got to think, okay? Let's say you have 4 girls. 4 hours. Actually, school's 8.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say 7.
Okay.
4 girls, 7 hours. We'll say an hour and a half per order.
Okay.
That's 21, right? Did I do that math right? 4 girls, 3 missions. No, 12. Right?
There's 4
girls.
girls.
3 missions. So 12.
Times
so let's do
7 hours is 28 individual hours.
Divided by 3.
Divided by 3 is 9.3.
Okay. Let's say 9.
Okay.
9 times $7,000.
Mm-hmm. The $63,000 in a day is essentially what the math would be, you're saying, right?
Just for 4.
Just for 4 of them, yeah.
Just for 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
So, they have the money. They can pay off anyone.
I guess it's just like, I'm thinking, like, how much money would it be worth to you? As a guidance counselor, as a police officer, how much money you got to be making to say,
Well, first off, neither of those professions make money. Flat out. They don't. They don't make a good amount of money. And if you're corrupt, like, how much money do you need? $10?
I hate to sound self-righteous, but like, you couldn't pay me enough.
No.
To turn a blind eye to inappropriate behavior ever, regardless of child or adult. I just couldn't be swayed.
I know. You can pay me to look the other direction for a lot of things, but abuse, children, period. No, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. Abuse, also can't. You're snorting cocaine? Have at it.
Well, as long as you're not hurting anybody.
Give me that. Give me $3,
really
and I don't know you. For $4, I will shove your little baggie up my butt crack.
For $4. Oh my god.
There's a lot of things you can pay me to do, but abuse, to look away to any type of abuse, I can't. If you hurt that fucking raccoon, I'm telling on you.
There was a lady that was kind of mean to her kids yesterday at soccer practice getting in the car, and had she made eye contact with me, oof, I would have had to say something.
I'm so glad I don't have to come to that shit.
I was getting angry, and I mind my own business for the most part.
Sidetracking yesterday, Wednesday, one of our clients was like, all right, well, they were done and they're like, I'm going to go see my grandson's school play. And I was like, oh, I have to go to my best friend's daughter's once a year, and yikes, do I hate it. She's like, I love it. They're so sweet. And I'm like, okay.
There's a whole generation of people that just don't like kids. They agree. Anyway, I'm never going to stop being dumbfounded about getting paid off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's a story, okay? She gets dropped off at the Getty's LA Museum, okay?
Okay.
She knows she's on an order. She's with she called her coworkers, but so often she said they're drugged.
The worker.
The workers are drugged.
Okay, makes sense.
And sometimes the drugs just make them little not there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they completely paralyze him.
Okay.
And sometimes
nothing.
You have no idea.
Okay.
It's 3 days later.
Yeah.
So she said this time she was aware. She was aware she was walking. She could see everything, but she was still just like not there.
Mm-hmm.
But she remembers most of it.
Okay.
She remembers walking. She did not say up or down, but stairs.
Mm-hmm.
She went through a garden and then an elevator.
Okay.
She said her ears start popping and she starts to feel like she's choking because the air was quote unquote weird. I'm going to say elevation, air pressure.
Maybe underground. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Just to say, she didn't say that it was air pressure or elevation.
Or underground.
Oh, no, she said she's underground.
Oh.
That one we can keep in.
Okay.
That's just what I assumed. It would make sense.
Yes.
So she got into quote-unquote basement, and after continuing to walk, she was eventually in a tunnel.
Okay.
She was put on a car. I'm assuming she meant in a car.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they strapped her to the
could
top
be train
of a
cars.
car.
Train cars. She's in a Minecraft or a minecart. I'm thinking Donkey Kong.
Train. A bus.
Yes.
Wait. She's just standing on the top of a car like we do in Fortnite.
Perfect. That's exactly what I had hoped for. I've always wanted to travel that way.
So they drove really far with her. She said she saw cars, trains, boats, and buses in this tunnel. She said every means of transportation, you can find it there.
Interesting.
She met she said there was a ton of celebrities, but she's not a person who knows them by name, which, duh, me neither.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, that's that person from Gossip Girl. It's Blake Lively. Like, come on. But she met a guy, and she was like, hey, you are the guy from Look Who's Talking.
Okay.
Then she was made fun of by everyone around her because she didn't know his name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure she's still 15, actually, because I vividly remember her saying, like, I was young. So, anyways, his name is John Travolta.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She saw Kathy Griffin down there and Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
She was down there. Turns out, she finds out, she was down there for an order for no other Joe Biden. That was the receiver.
So this came out in 21.
Correct.
But it's been
pushed.
Yeah, okay. It's been
because did you hear about Joe Biden being accused of ordering an escort? Because I didn't until now.
No. But I wasn't looking, to be fair. And we all know that I think we can all function on the same wave that mainstream media is not feeding us this information unless it is beneficial to whatever the current time is trying
propaganda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can all function within that realm of possibility.
So she ends up in this tunnel a few times. That's kind of the end of the story there.
Okay.
But she ends up in this tunnel a few times. She said it leads to amusement parks. It leads to schools and hospitals, celebrity homes, and cemeteries.
Makes sense.
So all of these places you can enter and leave. She, her and her friend were very scared. I can get that down now. Yeah, her and her friend were very scared. I mean, you're on an order, but, like, you don't know where you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's so different being in a tunnel versus somebody's house.
Well, that's like turning your understanding of reality completely upside down to say we function in this society and then all of a sudden think
there's a whole different society down there.
Right.
She said it's a city. It is not just like a thing that trains go through.
Yeah.
There are stores, there are houses, there are dead babies.
So this is the underground.
This is
LA.
the underground. This is how I got to her.
Yeah, okay.
When I looked up LA tunnels, boom. She did attend multiple Diddy parties, which leads to a tunnel.
Okay.
But she said in these tunnels, like, you cannot leave whoever took you in there or you'll never get out because it looks like a wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get out.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a brick wall.
Right.
You got to push a certain thing. You got to do something certain. And it's miles upon miles upon miles upon miles, and you'll just die down there because people seeing strangers down there is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Hospitals that are connected, but the tunnel is also running underneath all of this. Hospitals are being paid to donate babies. It's a baby farm.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a trigger warning for you.
Okay.
But also for everyone listening. She claims that they got the babies and people would essentially rape the babies until the babies died.
Great.
Once the babies were dead, they would use them to traffic drugs and other things.
To where?
Anywhere.
Dead babies.
Yeah, so they would use the dead babies. They would put hats on them. Put clothes on them.
That's horrifying.
No, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so terrible.
That's fucking horrifying.
But they would use them for however long until it was very visible via their skin that they were dead.
That's horrible.
And then they get chucked.
That's great. Great. Just great.
And there's no I'm telling you now, I didn't find any proof. There are no pictures of this. But this girl seems to be pretty knowledgeable on some things.
I also want to note that we don't do dark web.
Dude, someone in the interview that I watched, he was talking about how much you can buy like a kidney or something for. Mm-hmm. And the other guy's like, what are you doing? Getting on the dark web? And he's like, fuck yeah, I'm getting on the dark web.
I don't dark web.
I want to.
I will not.
Hey, do you know how? Will you teach me?
You got to get Tor browser and stuff. I don't. Look it up on YouTube, man.
Okay.
Reddit's a great source. Reddit will tell you how to get on the dark web. I will not. The things that go on in the dark web, allegedly, this goes along the same note with the babies, okay? Allegedly, so when the Wayfair thing was happening, okay, are you going to bring that up today? No. Okay, Wayfair, one time there was furniture being sold by children's names on Wayfair that was allegedly people purchasing children on Wayfair for
money. Hold on. I will never forget you were pissed off at Emma for something and I was like, Wayfair will take her. And it was one of the funniest things in the entire world that I've probably ever said. With my dark humor, Guys, I would never sell Jesse's daughter, okay? I love her. I'm not actually going to sell her daughter, but it was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever said because Jessie was just venting and she was pissed off. And I was like, want to make some money because Wayfair's looking. And you just like completely lost it, like laughed so hard about it.
Yeah, we won't be selling my daughter.
We're not, I don't condone this. This is my humor. And if you don't get it, fucking leave because that's the whole podcast. Sorry.
So anyway, the Wayfair scandal was happening. Wayfair Gate. I don't know. We had a name for it, I think, at the time. I think there was a name for it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. At the same time, I learned about adrenochrome and how that's like this was Epstein stuff and how, again, this is all alleged potential, possibly happening, possibly didn't happen, like conspiracy stuff. Okay, so again, let's not base our entire existence on this thing happening, but also potentially it happened, right? Okay. So anyway, adrenochrome. People were torturing children and then harvesting their blood and then drinking it as the fountain of youth. That's the basis in a nutshell. Stuff with babies, with the torturing of the children and the drinking of the blood. It was a whole fucking thing. Okay, I cried for like literally days because they talked about like Hillary Clinton doing this. There was video. Anyway, long story short, allegedly there's video of this that was seen and then potentially has been viewed on the dark web. I refuse. The things that you find on the dark web, horrifying. Live murders, live torture. There's all. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh. That's the kind of stuff you find in the dark web. It's not just like, oh, holly jolly, let's buy drugs.
No, dude,
it's
I
like,
just want to look up how much my left arm's going to go for.
You can look up how much your left arm's going to go for, not on the dark web. You don't need the dark web for that.
It sells for more on the dark web. Dude.
It feels like
I'll
if
take
I
10K
were,
when
I
get
know that I am not on purpose a bit of a paranoid person. Like, we got that 500,000 views, and I'm like, somebody's going to come murder us because they found us on the internet. Like, is my address out there? Somebody might find me. I haven't hidden my footprint.
You are over paranoid
I haven't
things.
hidden my footprint enough. You know what I mean? I know that I'm a little bit that way. The dark web feels like if I even log on to the dark web, someone's going to be like, I found you. And now you're mine.
No.
That's how it feels. So anyway, that's a whole different channel of the mass collection and harvesting of children. It's, I don't know.
But anyways, speaking of the dark web, okay, the hospitals, so once they're killing the babies, right?
Yeah.
They're also selling their body parts.
That makes sense.
And
I say casually.
She said, you know, you wonder why you can go to Mexico and get a transplant for half price.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, wouldn't trust their healthcare, but they're not the people who are buying body parts from the mob. It's here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
They have to sell you that you have to pay, what, 40? I don't know. I'm making numbers up. Don't quote me on this. I've never had a transplant. You have to pay $40,000 for a new lung. It's because they bought it for $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get it legally. Where in other countries, they're not doing that as much. So it's cheaper because you're essentially paying for what they're doing. You're not paying the person who passed away and had a good lung for you.
Interesting concept.
That's what she said.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. I've never considered the possibility of it functioning that way.
Mm-hmm.
But that, if it were to function that way, that would make sense. Right. I mean, that's not equating or like accounting for how insurance or any of that plays into it. But on a cash basis that would make that the math would math.
It's more expensive because you're essentially buying a product and then buying the surgery, where other places
instead of a donated organ
you're
from a
just
cadaver.
buying the surgery.
Yeah, I get it.
Which is a very wild concept.
Yeah,
to
that
think
would
about.
be that if it were to happen that way, that maths.
It maths. Yeah.
It's really interesting, the idea that all of these places are like interconnected in a way that's both grotesque and functional. Like
There's a system.
having a morgue. You said cemetery, but I'm assuming a body processing place, a dead body processing place.
She
Schools.
said cemetery. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Schools, amusement park, like kid snatching locations, hospitals makes total sense. People's homes, like all of that, assuming that this has any kind of truth to it, that all makes loads of sense. Like the dots connect.
Yeah. You and I are on the same. I was gonna say the dots connect, and that's like the third time I've went to say exactly what you said. She also had a thing. She ran away for a little bit. It was, I don't know, someone reported it in some way, and the FBI fake interrogated people to find her. There was no Amber Alert. There was no missing persons report. They would go and interrogate people that she either knew or was around, essentially to say, don't talk about it.
So she ran away, and she's reported that people said that the FBI came to them and said, "Don't talk about her being missing."
It was like, do you know where she is?
Yeah.
What is she doing? And I guess I shouldn't have said it that way. They would interrogate them to try to find out where she was. They didn't actually give a fuck, okay? They didn't care where she was.
Right.
They wanted to know if anyone was leaking information about what all happened to her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And she said all of the people that they talked to, none of them actually cared where she was. All of them just wanted to make sure that wherever the fuck she wasn't talking.
Right.
So the agents that went, they weren't actually there to find out where she was.
Right, of course not. That makes sense.
Because they didn't even have a report on it. Nobody gave a fuck where she was.
They just wanted to make sure that she wasn't talking. Yeah. That's all. So she said in her interview, in this interview that you watched, she said that the FBI was talking to these people to find out where she was. That's all. Like, she reported that. There were no third-party interviews of, like, other people talking about her, right?
Right.
It was just her reporting.
Right.
Right, okay.
Anyways, this girl's life was really fucking tragic. And her end goal right now is to just spread the word and make it more public.
That she was trafficked underground in tunnels in LA.
Well, not for her.
Obviously. It sounds like she might be on the other side.
She wants to spread awareness and try to eliminate that whole thing from continuing to happen over and over and over again. She said that she has watched many of her friends die right in front of her eyes doing this stuff. In these situations, nobody looks for them. They're just like discarded, thrown in a dumpster. I don't know exactly how.
As like a random member, like a random person in the general public, right? Like, it's hard to believe stuff like that because you think how could that be real?
Right.
But at the same time, I think I don't think all people are so ignorant to the fact that there are things going on that we don't know about.
No,
There is a dark underside to the world. I think that as in general we can accept that that's the truth, no matter depending, regardless of how big or small you believe that dark underside to be.
Right.
Right? Like, I think that it's valuable to consider at the very least, even if you are of the most skeptical of the bunch.
Right.
I think it's valuable to consider that even if you can't believe her story specifically, trafficking
like
like
this
that,
happen.
yeah, trafficking like that happens everywhere.
I mean, she's been all around the world being trafficked. She definitely mentioned Russia.
Mm-hmm.
She was there trafficked. I think that this is a really big problem that I do think that most of us recognize that this happens.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that it is so far out of our hands that, like, where do you start? You know, like, where do you start to try to make a difference? And people like her end up dead or missing when they have the facts and they have the information that could possibly assist in
I thought
stopping.
that earlier. Like,
I was
how long until she's gonna end up dead? That's honestly
Right.
what my brain thought. I was
Right.
like, when is she gonna turn up dead or missing? Because that's what happened.
Mhm.
Like, we know about Epstein stuff, right? And like,
Well, I said yesterday, I'm surprised that
pity.
that P. Diddy is still alive. And she, oh my God, I forgot to say too. She also said, do not fear any celebrity that's being loud about things. Fear the ones that are quiet, because those are the ones that have something to hide. And the ones that are loud will show you anything. And that made me think, like, because she is involved with Diddy in some way. She was at his parties. She was trafficked there.
Okay.
And that made me think, like, granted, this was in 2021. I don't think the Diddy thing was started then or anything. But the Epstein thing was, right? 2021?
Yeah.
So she saw the celebrities that were speaking out, and then she saw the ones that were silent. And she essentially was like, the ones who are being loud, you don't have to worry about those.
Mm-hmm.
They were never the ones that were torturing me. And she also said, you may think that most of this is higher people, such as politicians, celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
She said, look at your next door neighbor, because they're more involved than any celebrity ever will be. Your principal. I hate to say it because my husband's a police officer, but the police were very, very, very involved. And I did not cover a lot of that because I don't want to. I don't want to get into that. I know that there are very awful police officers out there, and I just don't want to get into that topic. But there were multiple times that she went to the police, and the police were like, yeah, if you don't stay quiet, we're going to make sure that you never speak again.
It is. It's so. Like, I feel like sometimes my brain can't wrap my head around the idea, and maybe that's like my like bizarre desire for rule following to some degree. Like, if you have a standard and you're supposed to be the enforcer of the standard, like, how are you not believing in the standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a hard time with, like, you're the authority, like, the authority. Why is the authority not enforcing the rules that the authority is supposed to enforce? I have a hard time with those, like, rigid lines in, even though I don't necessarily, like, I don't want to say that I'm not like a rule follower or something, but like, I don't think that necessarily all laws or rules like make sense. But like,
Right.
at the same time, if you are decide to stand in a position that enforces those things, how you can't hold yourself to those things.
Accountable.
Like, I could never be in a position of power like that because I wouldn't want to enforce the rules I don't believe in.
Right.
But like that's why I wouldn't be in those positions.
Right.
So how do you go in those positions to then not do the thing you're supposed to do?
Yeah.
I don't like isn't your
Same
entire
as CPS.
You're like bound to protect and serve. Why are you not doing those things? How morally does that not create such massive emotional dissonance that you could even still function in your daily life? I could not live with myself if I stood for something and then like and then didn't do it.
I am so arrogant when it comes to that because the police officers that I do know, and I would say I know most of Zach's department very well. They're all, none of this would have flown with them. So I'm so arrogant with that side of policing where they are corrupt because I don't see, like, I've never experienced that. And not that I'm super experienced with police, but I know a lot of them very, very, very well.
I think sometimes in those instances, it's what your department is willing to stand for. And if from the top down there's corruption, the people in the department are going to be corrupt because it's allowed to happen and that's what they want to have happen. So a whole department can be that way.
Right.
And a whole department can be not that way.
Right. She also said that it's almost like a club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of police officers that will back each other on this kind of being corrupt.
Yeah.
And it goes essentially worldwide. Whatever the officer in Michigan does, the officer in Texas will stand up for him because he's also corrupt. And it's a whole I didn't want to get into it, and I didn't research. She called it something, I forget what it was called. I mean, there's corrupt anything out there.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Like, on a far broader scale, there are these kinds of levels of connection and corruption in all facets of society.
Right.
Beyond, like so far beyond just the police, but just in people in general. And
well, the school was a really good example. The principal, the guidance counselor, and the teacher.
Right. I mean,
All
there has
three of
to be there has to be a line of that to function. You can't have one random person doing it and everybody else saying like you have to have there has to be a grouping of people.
Right.
It doesn't function with individuals. It functions with groups of people participating in the line of corruption. Like, it doesn't just...
Right, and she did say that she knew of a few good police officers that knew about it, spoke up about it. Some of them ended up missing.
Yeah.
And the other ones are essentially unable to leave their house.
You know, that's interesting that you say that because when I was talking like about the Epstein, adrenochrome, Hillary Clinton torturing the babies, whatever, and the video, there was allegedly like it's been years since I've read about this or like tried to retain the information because truly I tried to spend time forgetting it. Allegedly, the video was seen from a laptop by like 7, I want to say it was New York police. And if I'm remembering correctly, which I might not be, like 4 of them committed suicide after seeing it. Did they?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, did
Right.
they? Knowing what the video was allegedly about, perhaps they really did because it was so horrifying they couldn't handle it. And like, in some ways, maybe that's better, I guess.
No.
But did they really kill themselves? Like, or were they murdered? I could be remembering that incorrectly. Again, that was from like 2020 stuff. It's been 5 years. I've tried to move on from thinking about that because literally I could not stop crying for like 3 days. It was so horrifying to have. I don't want to say that I was an innocent person because I was working in CPS before that.
Right.
But like to think that on a global scale, all of this shit was happening.
Right.
Just like as a fucking factory farm.
And
was turning upside down my world.
That is bringing us back to you have to live in Delulu land.
To some degree, you have to live with your blinders on because
I can't.
you cannot consciously think about those things all the time and like function
Right.
in a world. How do you think of the horrors going on all the time? And I get that that's a privilege. Like, we are privileged to not have to think about that happening all the time.
Sure.
Absolutely. And I'm very aware of that. Please don't ever come for us in the fucking comments to say that we are like so privileged. We are aware. We're lucky to be in the positions that we are.
We are. We're very lucky that we have never had to experience or witness any of this.
That kind of horror.
And it's honestly almost a foreign concept to us.
Yeah.
Because we are so taken out of that type of living. We are we've always been so lucky.
Yeah.
But it does exist, and it's not like when Jesse and I say we're putting our blinders on, it's not like we're acting like it's not happening.
You just can't.
We cannot get stuck on it.
It will take over my life.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This happened to me a lot when I was like running my Facebook group, because I ran a pro women Facebook group, like a women empowerment group, for my business, and I would soapbox a lot on things that I felt very strongly about, to the point where I felt like, given a little bit more push, I probably would have tried to become an activist, like truly done more.
Right.
And then sometimes it hit me that like, well, what the fuck am I going to do?
Well, yeah, I mean, some people, and those people that are actively fighting for this, I back them 100%.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't want to be that person that makes a difference and speaks out and tries to help. It's that it's a double-edged sword for me. If I do that, I have to give up everything else in my life right now.
It would kill me.
It would take me over. And in the same sense, I do feel guilty that I am not more active in fighting the battles we have. Yeah. As America. Mm-hmm. Not here, because honestly, like where we live is pretty safe. But at the same time, I do feel very guilty that I am not out there doing things to help other people. But it's either helping others or helping, like, living my own life to the best possible degree that I can.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that I would, when I say that it would kill me, I mean that so very literally. If I went into that, it would be everything that I lived and breathed nonstop until I died. Yeah. Or got out of it, I guess. But either kill me or I would get out of it.
Over.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't think that is something that I would ever get out of. I genuinely don't think, even at 50, that I would be like, okay, I did my duty. I would be like, I need to do more. And I'm sorry, my financial life cannot handle me taking a break from what I do every day.
Yeah, when we say that we're privileged,
it's not money.
It's that we're just fortunate to have been born where we are, and lucky to be
protected
in the places that we are. Because if money were not an object, the things that I would be doing for people, even in my business, if I would have had the capacity and ability to donate my services to change people's lives. And I mean, in the scheme of things, what I was doing was such a small scale. I know that I changed people for the better, and I made a huge positive impact in the women's lives that I did touch. But if I would have been able to do that for anyone every day of the week, I absolutely would have. Sure. That. If finances were no object, we would be there.
Right, and I think that that's why I get so... you often, every few months, you often remind me I need to take a step back from the stress. And it's not stress that other people are putting on me. It's that I want to do more and more and more and more and more. And it's honestly, a lot of it isn't necessarily just to benefit me.
Yeah, I know. When I always spoke about, like, in the culture of my photography world,
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of push to make six figures, make a half mil. Like, there was a very specific segment of people that were helping educate to push for that. And in my, like, circle of people that were also in that field, our goals to make that money were never, like, self-serving. We're like, with this money, I could help my family.
Right.
I could help the people around me. I could donate
Community.
my services.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are things that I could do to truly make a difference, which is so different than the people that are genuinely out there making money and are, I mean, I shouldn't say there's no donation and help, but, like,
Maybe that's our problem. Maybe we just need to worry about ourselves and we'll become millionaires.
I think in an earlier episode I said, if you're a horrible person, that's how you make it to the top.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
you did. I just edited it
you
not
can't,
too long ago.
it's like you can't be a good person and make a difference. It's wild and so sad.
It is. No, so anyone out there listening, that is fighting the fight for something very important and very deep and very heavy, such as this, know that we're with you. And even though we're not right beside you and we're not blowing up Facebook or any social media with it, we definitely back you.
The human mind and body was not made to withstand the stress that is endured from having to advocate for people so hard. And if you're a sensitive person energetically, it kills you.
Mm-hmm.
It's so draining to have to absorb all of that and to fend off, like, essentially the evil that comes with the negative that you're battling. It's
especially social media has really made it easy for anyone who doesn't want you to speak to make you feel like you can't.
Yeah.
You
have to stand
because, like,
strong.
you know, when you had a friggin' house phone, you unplug that bitch, nobody's talking to you. Period. You even
send me hate mail.
Even like even cell phones, like, before social media with cell phones, you block a number, they're not getting through.
That's it. There's no apps.
Done.
You got to call from somebody else's number.
What are you doing? Looking me up on ICQ? Block you there too. Club Penguin? Sure. Block you there as well.
I'm impressed. If you can find somebody on that way.
I have never blocked anyone's email in my life because I thought, if they remember my email, they deserve to get a hold of me.
I've had so many emails in my life. Good luck.
I don't remember yours.
Good.
I start typing it and it comes up because I've emailed you every year on your birthday.
I'll be looking forward to it.
Hey everyone, I got Jessie a birthday present already. Just so we know, it is currently wrapped. I got her. So when Jessie and I get each other presents, we don't wrap them. Like, Jessie will just hand me the Amazon box and be like, "Hey,
I've never given you an Amazon box. I hand you the goddamn lollipop every year."
Yeah, but you've, like, gotten me things and been like, "Here, do you want this?"
Yeah,
like a
fair.
T-shirt or something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we don't, like, wrap things for each other. I didn't get you one gift. I got you two.
Oh.
I got you two gifts.
Oh,
it is
fancy.
wrapped. It's in a cute happy birthday bag. I think it's made for a toddler, but I thought it was adorable.
Oh, boy.
The little handles, they're rainbows.
Oh.
And it has wrapping paper in it, and I have a card that I'm going to write in best birthday ever.
Oh, boy.
I know, you should be so excited. I actually I offered Jessie last time we recorded for her to have her birthday present early, and she said no.
No. I'll save it for my birthday.
Less than a month.
A little bit. I'm going to be, I don't know, 30, 33? Yeah.
I also want to say that, guys, I ordered a new friggin' couch. And if you're in the Discord, you know how friggin' pumped I am for this thing.
Oh my God. The battle of buying this couch.
It's been really hard. I didn't know what company to go with, what price point to go with. And these are all couches that are sold online. They're not like I can go in a store.
I want to say, the thing is, like, couches before, okay, really very, very short story. Before my husband and I purchased this couch, That's fine. Before my husband and I purchased the couch we currently have that we bought at Big Lots because, whatever. We had a couch that his family has had for 30 years. It was like a serious like Broyhill built in the late 80s recliner, right? Like, I mean, this thing is as old as my husband and I. Fantastic couch. It just eventually things do break down. Shocker. And even honest to God, to get this thing broken down, we had to like basically burn it to get it apart. It was built so well. Couches are not built that way now. As we know, everything is built to break down into like 3 to 5 years. So you have to buy a new one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
massively wasteful, but extremely consumerist. Anyway, we bought this couch. Any couch you're gonna buy now, unless you're gonna get it from like a handcrafted like person that's genuinely building furniture, you're buying garbage. You're buying garbage made to break down.
Right.
So save where you can, man. Honestly. And that's pretty much what you did. You got a middle ground. It's gonna be a nice couch while you got it, and in 3 to 5 years, something's gonna break.
They have a lifetime warranty.
On what?
The base.
Mm-hmm.
And the electronics.
That's amazing.
Because, so this couch, this is not why I bought the couch.
Mm-hmm.
They were having a Memorial Day, or Mother's Day?
Oh,
no, it was Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Sale. And this came free with it. It is one of the back bases, has a built-in speaker.
Yeah.
And on top of it, it's all digital. And it has a phone charger on it as well.
That sounds... Okay, the whole thing is digital. That sounds like Chanel is going to sleep on it and ruin it.
I don't think she'll ruin it. It's pet friendly. Everything's pet friendly. You can also take all of the things off.
Yeah.
The cushion,
covers. Yeah.
And wash them.
Yeah.
It is spill proof. And then what was the other thing? So the lifetime warranty really got me, because now they did say like, if your dog decides to scratch a hole in it, we're not replacing that cover.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you're sitting there and a leg breaks, we will replace it within 7 days.
That would have been really useful, given that we brought our couch home and it immediately broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
We weren't taking it back. We were just like, let's add some screws.
Well,
It's made of fucking balsa wood, probably.
I think that's what actually sent me to finally click the order now button.
Off of that one.
Yeah, because it's a $4,000 couch.
Mm-hmm.
That might be nothing to some people. My last couch was close to $2,000, I think, and it was on sale.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was $1,800. Might have been $1,500.
Yeah, I think that's about what we paid for our current couch. Again, Big Lots, so.
Yeah, like we have dogs, and I didn't want a nice couch then. And then I don't even think it existed where you could take the pillowcases off and stuff, but maybe it didn't. I was just so poor. I don't know. All right. So
they weren't in your budget at the time.
No, definitely not. I've been looking at couches, and I need it to be A, modular, because I get bored with shit after 2 years and I want a new one.
Change the shape, change the covers.
Exactly.
Yep.
And B, it needed to be the spill-proof, pet-proof wash. You can wash it, and this does not, I don't have to take it to the dry cleaner. I pop it in my washer. It's done.
Yeah.
I didn't want a dry cleaning shit, because I'm sure that like almost every couch you could probably get dry cleaned in some way, and I didn't want to. So it's a $4,000 couch. It was on sale I bought it for a little under $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the $4,000 did not include the SoundCloud system that we got with it, which is $800 add-on per thing.
And it was included.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so essentially I got like a $5,000 couch for $3,000.
I'm really eager for I'm just eager to sit on it and see how it feels and see how it holds up over time.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. And honestly, like I was looking at couches that were $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
So $3,000 feels okay to me. I feel like that was a good investment. As long as it lasts me 5 years, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But again, they have a lifetime warranty, so I can't see us needing to buy a whole new couch.
I'm eager to see how it plays out in the long run.
I'm crossing my fingers. This is the only couch that I typed in and there were not 5,000 people pissed off about something with it. I expect the SoundCloud system to fail at some point.
Yeah. I mean, electronics, they do what they do.
But again, that's covered.
Yeah.
Under warranty. And even if it wasn't, I didn't even care to have it.
Yeah.
Super
It was
cool
just
that
like
I
a
do
cool
have
It was a
it.
cool add-on. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was not something that I was like, we need surround sound.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. That's going to scare the fuck out of my dogs all the time.
It's going to rumble and they're going to be like, "Wah!"
Yeah, Sandra's going to throw up all over the couch. Good thing it's spill proof. Good thing it's pet proof and spill proof. My
For
pets
real.
spill their vomit. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. I'm really excited. And as soon as I get it, I will absolutely drop it in the Discord. If it's not here, actually, by the time that this episode comes out, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Because originally it was supposed to be delivered today.
Oh.
It has been pushed to Monday and Tuesday because it comes in like 8 different boxes.
Well, there have been some like weather delays.
I'm crossing my fingers that at least half of it comes today.
That'd be cool.
I would be really happy because it is not updating me.
It's probably just been weather delayed, honestly.
Well, it left California on the 12th.
Well, that was like a week ago, right?
The 12th was Monday.
Monday.
And it's not having any updates. It said
Who's
all
it being shipped by?
FedEx.
Oh, yeah, it's probably got weather delays or something.
Well, it's given me no update as far as like it left the facility the 12th and I got nothing.
Yeah.
Since. So I'd be really happy even if it like arrived in DuBois today.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go and pick it up tomorrow morning.
How are you picking it up?
FedEx is open on the weekends.
How are you getting that? Are you going to take all the cars you know and make 2 trips?
No, I can probably fit minimum of 4 boxes in my car. I'd put my car seats down.
I don't. Okay.
I'd probably have one sit on Zach, so there's 5, and I think
bid
there's
you the best of luck getting it in your car.
I mean,
I
if
don't
worse
have a lot
comes
of
to
hope.
worse, I would make Zach drive back and get it.
Yeah.
I want it so bad because we already sold our couch. So, and it's Steph. Tina.
Oh.
Steph. They're for their camp. So I was like, we'll let go of it Sunday if you want.
Yeah.
Which at this time I didn't even have. They didn't ship it or anything when I told her that. And she was like, no, you just tell me exactly when you want and I will be there.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't
they
care.
Have the flexibility
Yeah,
for that.
she doesn't care when they'll get it. So if it arrived today, they could come get my couch tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or if it arrived tomorrow, they could come get it Sunday. I'd rather not do it on a weekday.
Yeah.
But I'm also not having my couch sit in my living room with my new couch. Like, we have so much shit that we plan on doing in the living room this weekend. We're hanging lights. We're hanging a new TV frame. I have to get all of the decorations out. I have to decorate that back wall. We have a lot to do. And I don't want an extra 2 couches sitting in my living room while we're doing this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We have went so far. How freaking long have we been recording?
I have no idea.
You got to cut out at least a half hour for Tim and
we talked a lot.
Tim and Ty.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll keep you updated in the Discord about the couch situation, and until
they'll
next
know
time,
by now.
We made one whole brain today.
We did. I hope you guys have a great week. Can't wait to talk to you next week, which is, will it be your birthday then?
No. This is Labor Day.
So it'll be the week after
Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, it'll be 2 weeks after this.
This is released in 2 weeks.
This comes out 2 Wednesdays from now.
So 14 days plus.
And that's not even the 31st of May. Next weekend is the 24th, so this will come out the 27th.
14 days from today is the 30th. And plus a few days because that's a Wednesday.
Okay, so we don't have one for this weekend. I'm going to cut all this, right? So the 21st, this comes out on the 21st.
And then the 28th.
And then the 28th. And then
so it'll be like a week and a half.
Is 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that.
I'm going to cut it.
Oh, damn. Okay, well, have a good day and week and weekend and night.
Have a great month.
Yeah.
Have a great year. Have a great century. Bye.
Bye. Hags. Hags for sure.
We got one brain between us, don't you know? Two girls trying to make this show. Life and issues, highs and lows. Laugh it up, anything goes. With two girls and just one brain. Common sense is spreading thin. Talking life through joy and pain. Tune in, laugh and let us in. Got dilemmas, got our flaws. Spill the tea with no pause. Watch us laugh, breaking laws. Two minds might find lost cause. With two girls and just one brain. Common sense is spreading thin. Talking life through joy and pain. Tune in, laugh and let us in. One brain, that's all we got. Join the ride, like it or not. Taking swings, miss the shot, but our humor's always hot. With two girls and just one brain. Common sense is spreading thin. Talking life through joy and pain. Tune in, laugh and let us in. One brain, that's all we got. Join the ride, like it or not. Taking swings, miss the shot, but our humor's always hot. With two girls and